Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home team of Keller Williams Midwell Willamette. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillette.com. Have your dreams been buried under mounds of responsibility? For help, contact Emily Harman Coaching and Consulting at emilyharman.com. Ta-da!
Hey,
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Here we are on another Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. For your viewing pleasure, you can be watching us on LinkedIn. You can be watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Please chime in the comments and let us know, where are you watching from and what are you watching on? So you can tell us what city, where you're at, what country, whatever, and then let us know, what is your favorite platform? We'd love to know that this morning, because we love for y'all to be here. And, we just came over from Instagram Live. We have The Experience Backstage, which is our prep show with our friend Shri every week. And we're there at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So join us there beforehand. Then come on over here to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. We'd love to have you here. Right, Scott?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the shows are always great because the experience with these great guests that we have, like Meaghan and Emily today, people are going to have a lot of fun hearing what's going on in their world. But one of the things that I love about the experience is all the interaction that happens in the comment section.
That's right. That's right. Well, and the only way that happens is for you to engage that are watching right now. And I can tell you some ways you can engage. Are you ready? Well, here we go. First off, you can actually share this out right now. You can hit the share button, share it and tell your friends. Guess what? Emily and Meaghan are on The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. No way. You're kidding. Yes, it's true. So you got to share that out. Number two, you can tag your friends and let them know that way. And if you have specific people that you think would tie in to the amazing guests we have today, or just like to have fun with Scott and I, tag them, tell them to join us today. And also, we want you to make sure and connect with us. You can connect with me at russhedge.com, and you can connect with Scott at dscottsmith.com. And so I want to make sure you do that today. Because you know what, we love to connect with you guys. And I'm also, you'll see ticket along the bottom, not only russhedge.com and dscottsmith.com, but our guests today, their contact information here on LinkedIn today. And we'll be giving other contact information as we go ahead today. So Scott, I'm just super excited for this week. Have you been having a great week?
Yeah. It's the first of the month and a brand new month yesterday. Hard to believe. I think back to 2020. We couldn't wait to get through 2020. And here we are midway through in 2023. Oh, my gosh.
I tell you, you know what? I think that's what people need to remember. Enjoy every moment. Don't push, because it goes so fast, whether you do it or not. I mean, just the other day, Scott and I were at Oregon State University, and we both graduated in 1987, by the way, only a couple of years ago.
We walked across the stage that same day. Yep.
That's right. And you know what? That seems like yesterday. And now, boom, all these years have passed. We have families and children that have all grown up, and they are having families. And so, it's important to value your time. And so we're just thankful you're here. So the theme of the experience live with Russ and Scott, just to let you know, because people ask me, Nah, Scott, it is a great talk show about people's experience in life. And so our guests today will share their experience, what they are going through, because we are all experiencing moments, good, bad, challenges, whatever. And so, but we're excited because you get to take those and then you get to make something out of them, whatever they are. And so we're just super happy to have our guests here today. And Scott, other than reminding people to please join our YouTube community at the experience.video, which I put up there, I think we should roll on in the guests. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. This is my first time to meet Meaghan, so I'm excited to hear what's going on in her world. And Emily gave a TEDx talk, but you have to have a .edu or .mil email address to watch it. So this is the one place where you can get that information, what she talked about.
There you go. There you go. And Emily,
live with Russ and Scott.
Woohoo! And Emily has been such a great friend for so long. What a blessing she is in my life. We're going to bring her in first and get her rolling. The TEDx queen, Emily Harman. Here she comes.
We got to have a lunch with her together.
Yeah, yes, we were in Oregon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was awesome. Well, it's been a while since I've been on a live show, and it was pretty cool because StreamYard asked, "Do you want to enhance the view?" Do you know that? And so this is an enhanced view. I think it hid all my wrinkles. I look a little younger.
Great.
I love it. And you can stream it out to your own channels now.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's good, because that was only on Restream when I was doing my podcast.
Right. Yeah. Now, if you have a StreamYard account, you can stream that out, which is awesome. And we should have reminded you too before we started today. Scott is always streaming that out on his channels, and it's really cool. But Emily, you looked good before. You look even better with the new enhanced look.
Even better? I don't know.
So
Emily,
listen,
we love you, and we are grateful to have you here.
I'm grateful to be here. Yeah.
Well, give everybody a little snapshot, Emily. Who is Emily, and what are you up to?
Just a little bit about me. I guess we always start with what we do. I really am working on more on being and not really paying attention as much to what I do. But in this show, it's a kind of an experience of our life. And I worked for the Navy for 34 years and retired in 2019. And when I did that, I went on kind of an inner journey, which is something that you do when you become a certified professional coach. So I became a coach and started my own business, Emily Harman Coaching and Consulting, which is a sponsor for this show right now.
Woohoo!
And as part of my coaching company, I have several clients. One of them is University of Virginia's Darden Foundation, where I serve as an executive coach for them, and sometimes I'm a executive lecturer. And then also Positive Intelligence LLC, which is a company that helps with strengthening mental fitness, which is what my TEDx talk was about. And then I also have my personal clients as well. So I'm really enjoying being retired and working, quote unquote.
That doesn't sound like retired.
Yeah, working, quote unquote, when I feel like, not full time. That's what I like about being retired.
Well, I think that is really a great theme for life in general. We have to enjoy life as we're going through and as we're working and everything we have going on. So, Emily,
and that's not universal, Russ. There's a lot of people who have jobs that they hate. They live in communities that they don't enjoy. Life is too short.
It is. And I'm really glad I retired at age 56 so I could spend more time with my parents. My dad just had a stroke, so he's recovering from that. And, I just had hip replacement surgery 5.5 weeks ago. So I'm recovering from that. I'm taking all that time that I found in my days to work on my TEDx talk. Now all that time is being focused on me and my healing from that surgery and getting stronger again so I can go back and hike and camp in the mountains, which is something I really love to do.
Well, I just want to say, Emily, how amazing you are, because as I have, with all that you're going through, and you know that I've been praying for you and everything going on, you have been such a blessing to me in spite of what is going on in your life and your hip replacement surgery. And I can relate a little. I had knee replacement surgery a few years ago. Be the challenges with your parents, I can relate a little bit to that too. Obviously, both my parents are gone, and I've had to go through that situation. But what I'm saying is, I know that's a lot, and yet you still take time to reach out to me, to bless me, and be just a real encouragement to me. And I just want to thank you for that and tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're healing. So we both are.
Yes.
And now your wife has an opportunity to heal.
Yes, now I get to be the caregiver coming up for her surgery tomorrow. So yeah, pretty crazy. But hey, we're going to continue on and we're going to keep talking, but we're going to get Meaghan in the room. Here she comes. Woohoo! Good morning, Meaghan.
Hi, how is everyone?
Doing good, doing good. We're so thankful to have you here. Meaghan and I have had a couple great chats, and I've had her on Marketing with Russ. Just an amazing person. Meaghan, give everybody a little snapshot. Who is Meaghan and what are you up to?
Yeah, so I'm known in the manufacturing world as Meaghan the Maven. I started a podcast a few years ago called Mavens of Manufacturing, just to help highlight some of the amazing women in the sector and give them a platform to talk about their skills. I'm also a tech writer, which kind of got pushed on the back burner when I created Maven. So a lot of people are surprised to know that I have a master's in professional and technical writing. And I've actually been writing for industrial manufacturing since 2008. I really love what I do because I'm able to take my technical writing skills and combine them with my creative writing skills and share the stories of all the engineers and manufacturers out there and just help make their information not so boring and more exciting and really show the value that they're providing the world and how they're helping individuals make their lives better. I just celebrated my 40th birthday on July 25th. So I'm celebrating 4 decades of weird. That's what I'm calling it. I like to be fun, goofy, and just enjoy life. I really liked what Emily said about just, being about you and not so much about what you do, but like just living every moment. And that's what I'm trying to do now. It took me 40 years to finally learn that, but I'm getting there.
And normal is overrated.
It is. It's not fun. Not fun at all.
I want to tie into the fun and goofy part because I do agree totally. We have got to just enjoy life, and there's a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles we all have. But you know what? We can enjoy every day, and I'm just thankful for that. And I think that's a good focus. No matter what is going on in your life, don't forget, because like Scott said, you can get tied into a job that you hate and your life is miserable. Or you can live your passion and purpose and go into something that you're really love and you're all about. And so I just want to thank you, Meaghan, for encouraging us on that. And, I think that's one thing, Emily, that you have been great at doing is really taking that time to figure out what is important in life. And I love when I see you're out hiking and doing those kind of things. Probably still got a little time after your hip replacement here.
No, yesterday I went on a short hike. And I had Pearl in my backpack.
There you go.
5.5 weeks post hip replacement. So I did pretty good. Yeah.
And Pearl is her dog, everybody. It's amazing. And she takes Pearl with her. And so, yeah, everybody's going, who's Pearl? Who's Pearl? So, well, I just think that's important. And Scott, you've said it so much, you've encouraged me in life is really to focus on what are your dreams, your purpose, and your goals, right? And that makes life so much more impactful.
When we're looking at our business, one of the questions that we need to answer is, what would the world be missing if Meaghan's technical writing didn't exist? What would they be missing without the podcasts, right? I mean, these are questions you want to answer, and you'll surprise yourself. I encourage people, go take a walk on the beach, walk in the woods, whatever it is. Take some time and reflect on that question. What would the world be missing without my business.
That's right. And
Yeah, I think here's Pearl.
oh,
And that's good to
let's
see that
Aw.
that's an actual dog, because you said I had a Pearl in my backpack, and I'm
It
like,
was an actual dog.
a Pearl, that's not a big deal. Come on.
So, I enjoyed working for the Navy. My first job after I got out of active duty was on being on a ship and everything. But my first job was really in government contracting, and I got kind of stressed out over that because of the attention to detail. So it wasn't even until I knew I just didn't really, attention to detail doesn't come easy to me. And so I took this assessment called Emergenetics, and it showed that is definitely not where my strength is. Like 91% of the population, I don't know if it's likes or is better at kind of data and that kind of thing than me. So no wonder I didn't really, and I enjoyed like the negotiations, the people piece, but not the like documenting everything in a spreadsheet and all that attention to detail. And
You need a technical writer for that.
yeah. And then I got into, being the director of small business programs for the Department of the Navy. And that I really enjoyed. And I can see from that Emergenetics assessment why, because my strengths are really in, visualizing the big picture and leading from that perspective, and as well as, interacting with people. So that really made it clear, like, this is what I really like. So I think in order to really make sure you do something or you're involved in a career that you love, really getting to know and understand yourself is important. And that assessment helped me. There's a lot of others out there that can help too.
Well, and Meaghan, I think that it's important for all of us to assess where we're at. I mean, in order to do, like you said, be a little goofy, have a little fun, we need to assess, are we overdoing things? And now in your 40 long years, I smile at that because I'm going to turn 60 my next birthday, which is seems like, wow, that couldn't be true. But anyway, I think that you gotta take time, right, to know what's important, just like Emily was talking about.
Yeah, and it's funny because right now in manufacturing, we're facing this skills gap, and there's a lot of misconceptions, I think, about the next generation, where people are believing that they don't want to work and they don't see the value in working hard. And I don't think it's necessarily that issue. I think they understand what their values are, and because they are so digitally connected to the world now, where before we weren't as connected, they can do a lot of research on things that we didn't even know existed back in our day. So with my daughter, she's 19. She is well aware of what she wants to do. She wants to go into nursing, which I was kind of surprised by, because I thought she was just on her phone taking pictures and editing them on Instagram, but she was actually researching the things that she likes to do. And I think we need to bring the excitement back that life has to offer, to get kids to take the initiative to pursue something that is purposeful. But we have to do it in a way where we're, touching on what's important to them and what they're passionate about. And I just remember when I was in high school, there was such an agenda of like, okay, you have to go to a 4-year college or university to be successful, and community colleges were getting kind of a bad rep, and they were taking shop class out of the curriculum because that wasn't the way to be successful. And now we're hearing all these conversations where people learn at different rates, people have different intelligences based on what topic they're into. So how can we change the curriculum? How can we change the way we're having conversations with the next generation, so we're not putting so much pressure on them to have their life figured out at 18? Because quite frankly, I'm 40 and I still don't know what the rest of my life is going to look like. So we have to kind of change the way that we're having these conversations and not make it just about, okay, here's what the list is. You have to do this to be successful. You have to make this much money to retire. I mean, my dad is 77. I don't think he's ever going to retire, and that's okay. You don't have to retire at a certain age if you don't want to. If you want to keep working because that's what makes you happy, then that's what you should do. So I think we need to change how we're talking about things and make it about what we like and what we're passionate about, because not everybody wants to make six figures to be successful. Some people are okay going camping or hiking and living out. I have a friend who she had a 4-year college education. She went into food and beverage. She was at the top of the corporate ladder, and she decided to quit all of that when she was like 24, 25 years old and moved to Colorado to teach whitewater rafting. And now she's married and her had their first baby, and they're renovating a van right now to do long road trips and live out of the van.
Yeah.
And she's happy.
we're here. We're meant to be enjoying life, enjoying every
Right.
minute of it. And nobody can tell us, oh, you have to go. My son went and got a 2-year degree. My daughter hasn't gone to college yet. And, I don't take that personally or look at that as a failure on my end or anything. I think that, they're both pursuing something, things that they really love. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know, Megan, that within the Navy, they're definitely looking for welders and manufacturers for the next generation of submarines. I don't know if you've
That's
heard
awesome.
about that. Maybe we can talk offline. Maybe some of your people want to know about that. But if you just Google Navy and submarines and the kind of skills that they need, it's trade skills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to learn more about that, because that is the thing is a lot of kids still think that in order for them to be successful in life that they have to go to college, and it's stressing a lot of them out because not all of them can afford that
No.
4-year college education. And I'm not saying don't pursue a college education, like that's not what I'm saying at all. I think kids need time to be kids. So I highly encouraged my daughter before she graduated high school. I said, look, if you don't go to college right away, it's not the end of the world. I would suggest not going to college right away. Maybe take a year off, travel around the world, get your passport, get jobs here and there. She actually took on a waitressing job and loved it. But get jobs here and there. Like if you go to a different country, you can learn the culture, you can learn a different language, you can get a job in a different country. I have connections all over the place, so it's not going to be hard for you to get housing either. I have friends that will take you in and let you sleep. That's not a problem. But if you don't go to college, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like
No, it's
it's
not.
okay. But she
No.
decided that's what she wanted to do. Grey's Anatomy was her favorite show, and that's the whole reason why she got into nursing. So, but it's what she
Yeah, I
wants to
mean,
do, and
those
she's
shows
happy.
influence people. Like The Last
Right.
Ship, made a lot of people want to go in the Navy and be a surface warfare officer. And
Yeah.
then Top Gun makes people want to be pilots. So those shows are really influential.
But welding, you can make such a great living off of. Like, even if you're right out of high school and you have some sort of certification, I think starting salary is anywhere between 70 and 80 grand.
Yeah, I
Like,
think they're paying relocation. They're doing a lot. You could just look at
yeah.
Navy and those kind of technical skills. They need people.
I'll put a plug in for our nonprofit. Advocation is we're putting together. We just got funding for pre-apprenticeship programs for high school students, for those
Awesome.
that are not necessarily interested in college. And the problem is that it can be a career limiting move for administrators and counselors and teachers in the schools today to say, well, Russ, maybe college isn't for you. Maybe you should go to become a journey level electrician. Well, that's hard to say today because it's so focused on college. And I know when I grew up, when I was going through college, and Emily was probably the same for you as well, is everything was geared toward when you get a job and you work for somebody.
Yeah.
And
Right.
the life was this: graduate high school, go to college, get a job, build up a retirement account, then retire and die.
Well,
Yeah.
I've done all that except for I haven't died yet.
Well, thank goodness for that.
And I call my retirement a graduation because everyone has this, image in their mind of what retirement means. I was 56 and some people are like, you're going to just go to waste. You're not going to be learning. I learn so much every day. It's awesome. And I'm not quote unquote retired in the way people tend to think of retirement. So I think too, we didn't have all the resources that people have now. We didn't have the internet. We couldn't text on a cell phone. We just had, what our parents were telling us in our kind of a local area. And now there's so many more ways and opportunities to find out what's going on and to get involved all over the world. We just didn't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I want to jump in there and say I agree with you 100%. In fact, in Befuddled, I talk about my path journey was already laid out, exactly what you guys said. You graduate high school as far close to the top of your class as you can. You go into a good college, you get a good job, you get married, you have a family. All of those are good things, by the way, but it was already laid out. It wasn't like an option not to go to college. Today,
No.
I tell people all the time, young people, what are you passionate about? What do you love to do? There are so many amazing opportunities that don't take a 4-year degree. And maybe you just go and you spin your wheels and you waste time. And so it's like, for example, my son is a professional musician. He ended up getting his associate's degree in college, but he didn't need college to do what he's doing.
Grammy
Look at
nominated.
Bill. What?
Grammy nominated.
There you go. My
Awesome.
Grammy nominated son. That's right. And there's so many great people that we know, Bill Gates, Phil Knight, all these people that did not have a college degree to do what they did. And so my point is not that college is not bad. College is great. If you want to go into a specialty, be a doctor, an engineer, something special. My youngest nephew he does coding. You can learn that in schools outside of college, but he did go to college for that because it's special. It's a specialty, right? But if you're not going into a specialty that you have to go to college for, be like my niece who became a phlebotomist and went to school for 8 months and was suddenly a phlebotomist taking people's blood from medical clinics, didn't need a 4-year degree. And so I just think that's important. You both have really brought that up. Great, great point.
Well, the world we live in tells us we need to buy all this stuff in order to be happy.
Mhm.
Okay. I went into Target the other day for the first time in probably 9 months because I don't even live near a Target. And I just was looking around at all this stuff. And I remember when I used to be like, oh, I want to buy that. And if I had that, I'd be happy. I remember thinking that. And it's so nice to be able to just find that happiness from within. But our whole society is built on spending money and buying, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a capitalist society. And so, but really the joy is just like being in that present moment. And everybody discovers that at their own
I was just thinking
time.
we were driving through this neighborhood, big houses, and there was a house that had 5 garage doors, right? I mean, it's got 5 garages. And I told my wife, I go, I bet he still has to park in the driveway because his garage is full of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we just collect stuff and it just goes into a landfill. And
Well, that's a great business to be in now is the storage units. Like how
yeah.
many of those units have popped up? I have a storage unit now. I am almost divorced. I'm recently going through a divorce. I had to move out of my house and I'm looking for a new house now, so I had to get one to store my stuff in. But I don't want it, like I can't wait till I can have my own space. But I'm sentimental to a point, but not like my mom is very Irish and German. So like her Irish side though is more prevalent because she wants to save everything. So
Mhm.
I remember like 3 or 4 years ago, she gave me a big packet of papers from kindergarten. And I'm like, why on earth did you keep all of this? And she's like, I couldn't let it go. And I'm like, you have to let
Mhm.
it go. Like, it's okay to get rid of my math papers from like first and second grade. Like, that's not going to make me cry or anything. But yeah, we just collect a bunch of stuff. And
Yep.
I'm trying to do better not to buy a bunch of things because like I used to be obsessed with like purses and jewelry and clothes. And I'm now, I don't know if it's because I'm older and wiser. I have no idea, but
I
I
have
try
a
to get as
have a theory
well.
called cultural scarcity, and scarcity is just how we deal with resources. It's economic side, and cultural because this is the way we were raised, and so a lot of our culture has been influenced by the depression and by people that had
Yes.
low, right, and
Yeah.
so go into your grandfather or great grandfather's garage and you'll see coffee cans and mayonnaise jars full of bent nails and rusty screws, right? So
That's my dad.
cultural scarcity is essentially placing value on valueless items, right? So your inkjet printer runs out of ink and you pull that cartridge out and it doesn't look bad, right? But it has no value. There's no ink in it. But we think,
Mhm.
I spent $60 on this thing. I shouldn't just throw it out. That's why the ink refillers, right, to refill cartridges, spring up. But it's placing value on valueless items.
My son has become a minimalist with time, and really a lot I can learn from him. He has pared back what he has to live with. And I tell you, they just moved into a new condo that they bought. And I can tell you it was a lot easier for he and his wife to move in because they have a lot less stuff.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times that alone is a good lesson. We don't need so much stuff like you guys are talking about. Life is not about stuff, and we
No.
need to value everything and every moment and just value our time with people. And speaking of valuing our time with people, I've got to be the responsible host and start the wrap up because I've already let it go long. So we're going to start, Emily, with you. And what I want is your final thoughts, your gold nugget of the day, and then how people get in touch with you.
My final thought, well, D. Scott asked about what my TEDx talk was about, and the theme of that event was do defense differently. We are in an era of global competition, especially with China, and military is really focused on that. And what do we need to do differently? And I talked about that people are the root of everything. We've looked at changing laws to make acquisition easier. We've looked at updating policies. We switch out leadership. We, look at all these external things about how we can do defense differently, reorganize, should we move the space command to Alabama or leave it in Denver? All those things, they are important, but also taking care of employees is important too. And with positive intelligence, if you go to positiveintelligence.com, you can take a saboteur assessment that tells you how your mind can sabotage you. And it's basically how your mind can impact your ability to create a life you love living, which is what I like to coach around. And that program changed my life so much that I took on the role as their director of government accounts to bring it to the government. And I just, that was what my TEDx talk was about, is taking care of the employees and helping them deal with the stress, everything that people in the Department of Defense are under. Because when you can do that, you can be more innovative, you can be more collaborative, you can think of ways that we could do defense differently. When you're sabotaged and stressed, by your mind, and in like the left side of your mind, just all stressed out, it's hard to come up with innovative ideas about how we can move forward and do defense differently. So in a nutshell, that's what I talked about. You connect with me on LinkedIn, and thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And Meaghan, you're up next.
So just with the conversation that we're having today, reminded me a book that I just finished called Brave. And it says, courageously live your truth. So I was having a really hard time being comfortable with some of the things that I was doing in pursuit of Mavens of Manufacturing. And I had a lot of support from different individuals and different mentors that just said, sometimes being uncomfortable is a sign of your own inner growth and your own personal growth. So my golden nugget would be just, get comfortable with the uncomfortable and always challenge yourself and take risks, because you never know how that's going to change your path and put you on the path of your purpose. And this book by Sheila, it was just kind of a game changer for me, because it talks about women intuition and how, following our gut instinct is a signal that we're on the right path towards our purpose. So I'm just trying to challenge myself every day and pick up on the signals that are around me, because whatever your beliefs are, whether you believe in God or karma or just the universe as a whole, there are hints that it's throwing at you and God is throwing at you. So make sure you're aware of those signs and that you're paying attention to them, because it means that you're in the right direction. Yes, it might be uncomfortable, but again, if you're not comfortable, then it just means you're not challenging yourself enough and you're not growing in the right direction. So my golden nugget is just
No,
Be
go ahead. I
confident
love
with
your
it.
golden
Go
nugget
ahead.
because ours tie together, because when you take
Yeah.
that saboteur assessment, all those saboteurs, the avoider, the controller, the hyperachiever, hypervigilant, pleaser, there's 9 of them. They all want you to stay in your comfort zone. So it really helps with the how of what you just talked about, and how to, when you're stressed by the thoughts that they generate, you are not in tune with your intuition.
Right.
So it kind of helps with that. So, wow,
I
you guys
yeah.
picked 2 good guests that we kind of, our topics intertwined.
I
That's
knew
awesome.
you two would be awesome together. Yes, yes.
That's what we say.
No,
We only accept the most remarkable people on the planet to come onto
there you
the
go.
experience.
Yeah.
Today is
Oh,
no
that's
exception.
great.
Well, you know what? I always love to quote the Jim Rohn quote that, you're the average of the 5 people closest to you. And I'm always trying to elevate my community. And I just think, wow, God has really surrounded me with amazing friends, because someone asked me the other day, how do you get guests? And I said, really? Like, is that hard? And they're like, no, I mean, do you have like an online thing where people sign up? I said, no, 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 no. We handpick everybody that comes on. Well, how do you get enough guests? I don't know. God's blessed me with amazing friends, because we have no shortage of amazing people. And that is why both of you have been on before, and both of you will be on again. And just
Oh,
appreciate your friendship,
Mhm.
and appreciate both of you. I always like to
thank you so
joke,
much.
I'm a lifetime connector, so I'm not going anywhere. But I appreciate you guys being here with us today.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I just wanted to remind everybody before we let them go that all of their connection information is in the comments. It's been scrolling
Mhm.
along the bottom of the screen, and it's all clickable. You can click right on it, and you can go directly to Meaghan or Emily, and you can connect with them today and learn more about them. This has been a very short time, but you need to reach out, connect, and build community with these amazing ladies. So thank you both for being here. We're going to send you to the green room, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right there.
Stand by.
All right.
Well,
All right. Woo.
fabulous. Always
Oh my goodness.
amazing. Such
Yeah.
great advice that today from Meaghan and Emily for all of us, but especially for those in the upcoming generation.
Yeah, no, it is. And you said it so well. And because obviously I've learned half of what I know from you, it is important really to follow after what really God has put in your talents and abilities and your passions in life, and
Mhm.
not just jump into college. Had I actually gone back, I loved college, by the way, had a great experience, but had I actually gone back, I would have considered other options. Not that I didn't enjoy it, but I mean, it was a
Well,
lot
it's
of college debt. It cost me a lot of money, and I would have thought there's a possibility there's another way.
absolutely. I started college, and then I ran out of money. So the Air Force was hiring. So I went into the Air Force, and I came after I got out and went back to college. I was a better student because I had that experience. And so, it's different for everybody. But hey, before we run out, I want to share 2 things. One of them is that Christine's book is now available. So agingbetternetwork.com, Caregiver Kit. It is right here. And so she took the picture on that. Anyway, it's
Very nice.
practical advice around dealing with those waves of grief that we all experience, because everybody has had some sort of loss. And the other one is my book, Business Networking, A Scientific Method. That is out. And there you go. That's the Portland City Grill, by the way. So this book is out right now. It's still 60% off either the paper or the digital version. So I encourage people, Business Networking, A Scientific Method.
Well, I've got my copy digitally, but I'm going to have to get a paper copy. I'll have to
sign
order
it
one
for
of
you.
those. So, especially if they're 60% off. Woo!
Woo!
No, I just want, it's interesting, everybody. See, I have Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. You get your copy on Amazon or my website, russedge.com. Shameless plug. Love to encourage you. love to help you with that. And then you've got Scott with like 30 books. And so he puts me to shame. I'm stuck on number 1 still, but no, I
have your
appreciate
workbook
that
as well. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yes. And I have the workbook that goes along with that. So I guess I have 2. But if you are interested in writing a book, because my friend D. Scott Smith says everybody's got a book in you, you need to contact him and reach out because he can help you along those lines. And so that's something that he is amazing at doing. And Scott, as always, I appreciate you. I appreciate tomorrow as I'm going with my wife to her surgery that you are filling in and you're my guest host for Marketing with Russ, 8 a.m. Pacific tomorrow morning on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. You'll see Scott, and he has a great guest, Stacy Rasky, that will be on. So appreciate that. And thank you for your prayers for my wife, for surgery, for me, for healing. And I appreciate all of that. And with that, Scott, I think other than reminding people, please go to our YouTube page, and please go there and get that today. Subscribe today because we would love to have you as part of that. Right, Scott?
Absolutely. Try to give you. There we go. Absolutely fabulous show. Thank you to Meaghan and thank you to Emily and Russ. You're a great human being. So thank you for all that you do and all the encouragement that you bring to all of us.
Well, you are an amazing friend and I owe a lot to you. So thank you, everybody. Until we see you again, which will be next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Have a great day and a great life and
enjoy the experience.
Woohoo!
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.